welcome back to Tracking Networth for Japi. So live updates. Okay, so like Iceland was actually a fantastic experience, and I would recommend anyone who can go there to go there. I think I'm doing something good with romance, I guess. Like I asked this woman if she wanted to go to Aruba, and she was like, yeah. Well, I guess it just came up in conversation, and somehow I invited her. She was like, yeah, let's do it. We'll see. I'm leaving for Aruba next month, and I'll stay there for like 3 months, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Side that. The job is going like really weirdly. So this is the construction contract I have, and there's like a new project I'm supposed to be helping with, but it's like not going very fast because they are extremely specific with requirements and have like second system syndrome, and I try to help them over that, but yeah, the people I'm working with are quite stubborn, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just giving them time. I mean, I'm giving a good effort. And we'll see what happens. I can't do, like, the logistics. It feels way more valuable to work on that. But, if they want me to work on the other project, then fine, I'll help them. I'll try to help them with that. I'm also aside, in the weekends and in the evenings doing some contract work for my uncle. There's like a chicken butchery, and they have like their own in-house system. And I'm helping to expand it a little bit. So I should have some extra income from that as well next month. And having the business is nice because it keeps together, just one income stream essentially according to the business, and it should offset some of the Iceland losses. Although actually it turned out that I spent way more in Iceland than I would have expected. It's just an expensive island. So I'm also leaving next Wednesday for Zurich Hack, and this is like a major event in the Haskell community, and the executive director was talking to me. He wanted to revive the exact print project, which I worked on before. Hopefully this time I'll be able to get some funding for that to also work on that, but we'll see. At the time I was hoping to just like cancel my current job and move on to that, for a couple of months and then find something else after. But maybe I'll just keep doing this with the job on the side, and we'll see how that goes. So by which I mean I'll implement the exact print work in the weekends and the evenings, and I'll see if I can get some help with that, but we'll have to see. Best thing would be a junior developer that's like I just can kind of coach in doing this kind of work, and then they would implement bulk of the work, and I will just help them with the design details and stuff like that. But I have to see how that goes. I think, technically the project is not impossible to do. We just have to do it, Okay, so moving on to the numbers. So our goal is still, getting financial independent, and we're finally stopped dropping in net worth. This is good. The crazy shit seems to be cooling down in America, which calmed down the currency market and therefore everything else. Zoom out a bit. So yeah, we stabilized around this number, which is good. And finally creeping up again, despite going to Iceland. And then I also changed this table from quarters to months because it would be a bit easier. It would like reduce the amount of half numbers we have, and it would just show easily. We're still, by the way, in this 400,000 or 500,000 range. We haven't left it yet. We dropped back into it, right? But hopefully next month it will be better. Actually, it doesn't go that fast anymore because we limited our private income. But yeah, it's fine. Okay, so and then finally we got this graph. Actually see that the proportion of real estate is kind of dropping at this point. Soon we'll pay off a bunch of debt again, and then the proportion of real estate would grow again because we lose a bunch of cash, and then it will go back down. Actually, I got the first tax payment bill in-house. It's 15K for just a business. I think it's a bit too high, but we'll see. Like they made an estimation, the accountant, because they cannot do the entire calculation before the tax server wants it. So the accountant is just perpetually overworked, I think. Yeah, we'll see what they come up with eventually. Okay, so this is the business income and expenses. Again, this month we got 11K from the main job. We got 4K of expenses, and this is just essentially 3.5K due to the Iceland trip. Actually, if you look like at that, then it's not too bad. I was expecting to spend around 3,500, so this is good. Holding expense went down again. I guess we have less taxes this time. Withdrawals is still the same because we limited to that, which is tax efficient. By the way, I looked into it, and there's no need for me to send any more money over to the pension funds because anything I oversend to the pension fund will actually be taxed more than what I would gain by just sending it over. Because currently it's something like 10% in total. Actually, maybe the highest bracket is taxed a bit more than 10%. I have to probably look at it a bit better, but yeah, it's good. Okay, so the gross profit is still 3,000, which is like crazy. I went on this expensive trip and I still made money, you know, with the business. But yeah, you'll see in a bit. Like I also had a lot of private expenses, but yeah. So taxes went down because you know we didn't have as much profit, but that's fine. Okay, so then business asset and expenses. We can zoom in a bit. Okay, so we have 500 euros on the N26 account. I sent over a bit more money because it's actually kind of useful to have this credit card. For example, you had these like scooters, and I used them to get around Reykjavik, and I just used the business to, you know, I have important business meetings in Reykjavik, so yeah, I use these electric scooters, and I just paid up front, and then I could use them in peace for like 300 minutes, and I never finished them all, but what do you do? Okay, so this account is a bit low as well, and it's just because of the crazy amount of expenses I had in Iceland. And then the holding company account, so we moved this up to 500 instead of 400, and you know now it's holding tight. Apparently we have a lot fewer expenses this time than last time. I guess it will go up again once we get the accountant bills, but we'll see about that. And then the savings, so I'm probably I'm going to have to dip into the savings a bit next month if I have to pay the taxes. Actually, it's in July. Not next month, but the month after. I have to dip in to pay the taxes for now, because I didn't leave enough money in the business, I think, because I greedily put everything in Trade Republic because it gives a better interest rate. But yeah, for private income, I would expect to have enough. I hope. Taxes is a bit gives me anxiety, but yeah, we are somewhat prepared for all of this. It's good. So. And we got the interactive brokers, it's going up again for some reason, I don't know, stocks, right? And then finally the Appy bond, we subtracted more money, because at the time I didn't know that taxes would be coming up, so I subtracted more money and put it into Trade Republic. So shareholder equity is going up by 4,000, that's about the same as profit. And then, you know, you've got a deferred income tax, which is going up a little bit because we're making profit. Okay, so income and expenses, I have around 3,500 of private income, and then, you know, we got our tax rate, which is now fixed to 370 a month. The Airbnb income is very low because it's only from this house, and this house doesn't actually yield that much money. I also increased the rate a little bit so that I don't always have people around me. And now it's sometimes people book it for like a week, and then they actually pay a lot more than they used to pay. So actually the amount of income I'm making from it, like 800 is still really good, by the way, but the amount of income I'm making from it is kind of going down a little bit. Actually, if I do both rooms, I can make like 1,200 or 1,400 from this house, but I don't want to do that. It's too busy for me. Or if I do like couples, then I can also make a lot more money. But I don't want to have. I want them. I only do single people now these days because it's just a lot more calm for me. And yeah, I don't want to have it bother me too much. So just decide to do that. Okay, the manager cost, so this is for next month, and we have some more bookings next month that are actually paid, which is good. Yeah, let's just see in a bit, like the accounts are getting quite low. So running costs is 1,200. I'm not sure why it's high. I guess like water or electricity. I also got the new land tax from this year, which which I have to pay, I think, next month as well. But it's only, yeah, it's like 1,000 euros in total, and I can pay 250 euros a month. Or a quarter. So next month I have to pay like 501 because for like the first half year, and then the following quarter 250, and yeah, that's actually like really good. It's a lot less than I would have to pay if I would have a house in Netherlands, so that's good. What I mean by that is like we're paying 2,000 on taxes. They estimate that the value of the house is still $180,000. So they're doing like 0.5% of that. So let's see that. So around $900. I guess it's a bit more than 0.5%. But actually, we did our like, you know, house is probably worth around this amount currently. So we should be paying like 600 euros more in taxes, but that's because they haven't like reassessed the value yet. They only do it once every 5 years. So we're actually like already paying fewer taxes. But the other thing is that the amount of taxes we have to pay in the Netherlands is actually 4,300 euros because they assume that, well, actually no, they assume that you're making around 5% profit every year of it, which is 14,000 euros, which may or may not be true. I don't think you're making that from a house, but maybe, actually, I don't know. And then they're gonna tax that at 30%. So in fact, you see that the amount of taxes we pay is a fourth of what we will be paying in Netherlands, which is great. Okay, so living expenses, they also went up a fair bit. And that's, I guess it's just the 400 euros extra of Iceland stuff. And that's just, I don't know, sometimes I cannot put stuff on the business, so I put it on private. Because, like, you know, if you're gonna go climb a glacier, then it's really hard to justify as a business expense. But if you're booking an Airbnb, because, you know, you have some kind of business meeting, then in some city, then yes, it's a business expense. So that's why I do that. I don't want to, like, essentially I only want to do things legally, and the way I'm doing it right now is legal, because I only have like international clients, so I can justify these business trips. And then debt payments. We got our normal 1,600 euros, and it will keep on going until we pay off the debt. Finally, we got, you know, 5,000 euros of borrowings, which is around the profit. No, we borrowed more than the profit. I guess the thing that happened is that we do the borrowing after the. Well, actually, like I get the money. I'll leave 11k or something on the Yappy software account, and then I send it over to the holding account, and then I make sure that there's like 500 euros on the holding account, and then I send the rest to my private, which is just the borrowing. But the Iceland trip hadn't happened yet, so we'll see the borrowing decrease next month. Well, actually, we're not going to borrow anything because we have to pay business taxes, and we have to dip in our emergency fund, and I don't want to dip in our emergency fund because it's only for emergency. And, well, actually, I guess technically this is an emergency because it's debt payment, which came sooner than I expected. I would expect this to arrive in like July. I have to pay it in July, which is 2 months earlier. I would expect the debt payment, like the letter, to arrive in July, and then have to pay it in like August or September. So yes, it's actually 2 months earlier, but that's fine. That's why we have the emergency fund. Okay, so moving on to assets and liability. This is the big one, you know. We still got 10 euros in cash, which I should probably spend. Our checking account is really low now, and that's because I probably sent too much money over to Trade Republic, but that's fine. And we got a checking CMB account, so we haven't sent any money this month to Aruba, and that's because, you know, we would just like. We have lower income from Airbnb, and we also have higher expenses due to Iceland. So, you know, we're getting hit from two sides this month: higher expenses, lower income. So yeah, we're not sending over money to Aruba, but we had a significant buffer build up because, you know, we wanted to have that amount there as well, just to be sure. And it's helping us right now. Like, you know, the Airbnb is still running, and there's no problem this running out because it's only going down by 600 or 700 per month. Okay, Trade Republic, it's really high, 25,897, and this is just preparation for the income tax, and I expect that letter as well to arrive. I mean, maybe this one arrives in July, I don't know, we'll see, but I'll get a notification online as well, so that's good. And then the equity is rising, which is also, I mean, good, I guess. The pension is actually going up again, so, you know, the craziness is starting to blow over, and people are just adjusting, and yeah, the stock market is recovering, so that's good. You know, the pension, I don't know, this is not gonna go anywhere. I'm not expecting too much from this 1,000 euros, but we'll see, you know. Supersede, this is just exchange rate stuff, so that's fine. You know, these are the houses, they haven't changed value. Student debts are slowly creeping up again because we're not paying them, because, you know, it's 0.5%, so we have more important debts to pay. Okay, deferred income tax. I did some calculations here, I don't know what I did, but I think I modified it to be 370 per month this time around. Okay, so deferred dividend tax, this is like from equity in a business. If we liquidate now, how much do we need to pay? We need to pay 22,000. But we haven't paid that, and we probably never will pay that. deferred pension. So this is the amount of money we have to pay eventually for having a pension. It's 32%, it's probably too high actually, but yeah, it's gonna be around 15% or something. And then finally the ING mortgage. So this is also going down, which is nice. We already paid down 25k of this mortgage. So yeah, it's dropping fastly over 5-year time. You know, one funny thing I was thinking about is that I put more money into the Airbnb house than I did in this house, even though I have this longer, and I mean I use this way more, of course. Just use the other one for Airbnb guests, because only the swimming pool I think was 25,000 euros to establish, and then all the furniture and stuff is way better quality than what I have here, and it's just all. I bought a bunch of secondhand stuff at this house, nothing new essentially. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so and then you know the payment for my father, it's hitting 44k, so that's good. It's slowly whittling down. We're paying 1,000 a month, and a large part of interest is interest. But yeah, but this is the debt I put for insulating this house. It's also going down by like 50 a month or something. It has 0% interest, which is also nice. And then the debt we have to ourselves, the own company. I put some stuff on the credit card as well. Anyway, our net worth ends up being 49,000. We went up a little bit to 2,500. I mean, I'm not complaining, right? That's pretty good. So yeah, I knew from the start that I wouldn't make a lot of money this month because I would be traveling a lot and just living life, right? So I don't mind this. This is a bit unfortunate, but it's just these money markets, they have a huge impact because I'm so exposed to the dollar and just the dollar. This can happen, and if the dollar strengthens again, then the opposite happens. But I'm not worried about that. It's just a number, right? Like the more important part is actually this number here. We can see that the proportion of liabilities that are high debt, and high debt I mean higher than 3%, is going down. And we're paying this down every month. And eventually we should be able, like what I want to do is save up enough money in Trade Republic to just wipe out that one debt of 44k in one go. But we're a while away from that. I think it will take me another like 6 months or something to do that. But you can see like we jump up by 6,000 or something a month, 5,000, 7,000 here. So yeah, it can go quite fast. But I think, yeah, that will be an awesome moment to experience. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please like the video. And leave a comment. I would love to hear your experience and ideas.